3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1067. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. I do want to talk about how whenever I looked down at the timer while I was being silent, I saw the number 122 and then 123. And if you've been around, you may already know what these numbers mean, but for those of you who don't, number 122 is a reminder that change starts with you. This could be a reading for somebody who feels called to be the change that they wish to see. Number 123 is about trusting that everything happens for a reason. You feel called to be the change that you wish to see for a reason. You have the power to not only create positive change, but to also inspire it. Feels like those messages could be important for whoever needs them. Getting into interpreting number 1067, the number 1 is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself. So whatever your intuition is telling you, your inner voice, wherever you feel called or guided, trust yourself. And also believe in yourself and your ability to maintain hope and faith in yourself and what's possible. The number 0 can be about recurring themes or patterns showing up as signs, messages, spiritual communication, or there could be certain themes or patterns in the way that you think, feel, believe, live, your experiences. And I feel like it's important for you to interpret what these signs or messages or patterned or themed experiences are trying to show or communicate to you. I feel that they could at least partially be about releasing someone or something, letting go, finding acceptance, healing. I'm really tapping into someone's heart chakra. That's what it feels like. I do encourage you to maybe do some research or look into this chakra if you feel called to. But there's something here that you're being called to hear from, and it's showing up in patterns or themes. Whether it's spiritual communication or experiences you've had, or both. Number 0 can also be a reminder to know when to put yourself first and to make sure that you have a really good understanding of how to create a healthy balance between give and take. Know when to be selfish and know when to be generous to others. Know when to choose yourself and someone or something else. And I just looked down at the timer. I saw the number 444. Let me get a drink of water before I talk about that. The number 4 for me is about stability, and it is connected to your ancestors. So for somebody, past loved ones, whether you knew them in this life or not, are really encouraging you to heal, to create stability within yourself, and just in general, within your life. I also feel like there's a really, really deep sense of a purpose, like something generational, maybe related to evolution. I do believe that right now, collectively, we are going through a phase of evolve or repeat and be left behind. And I just feel that it is time for humanity to walk away from emotional immaturity. And if you resonate with it, spiritual ignorance. Life, in my opinion, is very, very spiritual, and it is meant to be very emotional. A very emotional experience. I really don't know if you could have an emotional experience that isn't also spiritual. Now that's debatable, I understand that. But in my opinion, not being aware of the spiritual nature of your emotions doesn't mean that they don't exist. And you can definitely disagree with that. But I'm just sharing, how I feel as a reader. Really had a lot to say there about the number 0. Moving on to the number 6, which is about a choice or a commitment to self-love or self-destruction. I'm really feeling strongly here that your spirit guides, the universe, especially your ancestors, are here to encourage you, in spirit, to love yourself in the way that you deserve, to heal, grow, spiritually awaken. They really want you to connect with your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and soul. Maybe even your own body. I know that there are many of us who struggle with loving our body for how it is, myself included. And I feel like it's important for all of us to learn how to love ourselves for who we are as a human being. I'm just now thinking about how humans, they kind of remind me, because we don't have a lot of hair, it kind of reminds me like we're like the Siamese cats of, I don't know what category of animals, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe you can relate, have a laugh. But moving on to the number 7, this one is about wisdom. For some reason I'm feeling choices coming through. The word choices. Maybe you're becoming wiser with your choices, or this is encouragement for you to be more wise with the decisions that you make. Number 7 is also about expanding your awareness and your consciousness and finding deeper meaning. And I think that is exactly what we're all being called to do right now as part of a psychological and spiritual evolution that will probably eventually turn physical. I didn't even think about that until now. I mean, it seems obvious when you think about manifestation, but the ideas that I have are a little, probably something you would see in sci-fi. But yeah, that's what I have to say about the number 7. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 6. Okay, just wanted to make sure it's still recording. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 6 is 7, plus another 7 is 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5, and this number is about change and transformation. So whatever changes you are going through in your own reality, within yourself, know that these changes are so much bigger than you and your own reality. You are part of a much, much, much larger movement. Never forget how connected we all are when it comes to what we fight for, the battles we choose, the sacrifices we make. Never forget how not alone you are, no matter what you're going through, what you're fighting through. At the same time, though, it's okay to feel alone too. I'm seeing 111 on the timer here, which is a sign to trust yourself. I really feel that there is someone here who feels quite isolated, and it's important to trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Maybe you are experiencing something that is so unique that it's difficult to find people who have the same experiences. For whatever it's worth, if you can't find people with the same experiences, you can find people who know the same thoughts, feelings, the emotional and psychological impact or experience, because we all can experience the same range of emotions, at the very least, spiritually and emotionally, mentally. You are not alone, especially if you are undergoing some sort of personal transformation or experiencing changes in your life that are having an impact on you psychologically. Moving into the cards now, as you can see on the table, there's a box of cards and there is a deck of cards. These here are cards that I made myself, and these are the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards. I'm going to start with drawing out a card from the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot, and then I will draw out 2 cards from this box of cards here to see what else there is to add to the tarot card. I just saw the number 111. Another sign to trust yourself. Believe in yourself. Really pay attention to how these cards, these messages are resonating with you. Whatever message comes out that you feel aligned with, trust yourself. How ironic. I pulled the High Priestess in reverse. The High Priestess upright says awareness, trust your instincts, truth, and clarity, but this is in reverse. It's very clear to me that there is somebody, actually I feel called to look at the bottom of the deck too, because it did catch my eye, and then I noticed that Sally here on the card is kind of looking in the direction, it seems like, of the card that caught my eye, and it is the Devil card here. You just saw the number 222. That could be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation on your mind, a message about your choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. And also it can be about creating peace and balance within yourself. I think it's very interesting to see the Devil card here, and it says self-indulgence, immortality, ego, no self-control, instant gratification. I feel that your ego or someone else's ego is making it harder for you to trust yourself or to believe in yourself or to really connect with your intuition, your inner voice, your inner compass, maybe even morally, your moral compass. The Devil card has number 15 on it. 1 + 5 is 6. More encouragement there to choose self-love, to choose the truth, and self-love over ego. Or maybe there's someone else that you're connected to who needs to make that choice. I'm also noticing as well that the High Priestess has the number 2 on it as well. Even if I just said as well twice, didn't I? 1 second. There's definitely a certain relationship or situation on your mind right now that you know you're struggling to trust yourself with or believe in yourself with, if that's the right way to say that. Somehow you're not listening to yourself. Maybe you're not being honest with yourself, about yourself or someone else or something else. It just feels like someone here is feeling confused or lost. And I want you to know that fear is loud. Whenever your fear is trying to be in control, it's loud. It makes you feel trapped, especially when we're talking about the devil there. That can be about like attachments, addictions, self-destruction. But your intuition is quieter and it makes you feel more confident. Your intuition makes you feel confident and your fear makes you feel scared or safe. It really depends on what information you are leaning into in terms of feeling safe or scared, but that's like the general idea or feeling when it comes to your fear being in the driver's seat. Let's go ahead and draw out these 2 cards from this box. First one that I have, number 3, it says, "It's not the end of the world." Maybe for somebody this card could feel invalidating. But it's definitely not meant to be. When I made these box of cards, initially they were made for myself. And this is something that I felt like, it seems like, since I wrote it on a card, that I needed to be reminded of that. Sometimes your fear makes things much bigger, much scarier than they really are. The number 3 can be about self-expression, communication, using your voice, healing, growing, and making a certain type of commitment. And I will let you take what resonates from that. I'm noticing that this is good enough. But yeah. I really get this strong feeling that there's some negative feelings. Fear, anger, sadness. They're heavy, for sure. And it feels like they're blinding you from reality. Maybe it would be good to question, am I really being honest with myself about how bad things really are? Let's get the next card. And don't get me wrong, it's totally okay to feel the intensity, but don't let it control you. We have song lyrics. This card also has number 49 on it. 4 plus 9 is 13. There's 2 messages with the number 13. The first one is about good luck and good fortune. The second one, 1 plus 3 is 4. That's about stability and your ancestors. Don't know if I did talk about the number 444. Your ancestors are really urging for you to prioritize stability internally, most importantly, so that you can create more stability and more luck, more fortune in your life. The song lyrics are from the song Here to Stay by Korn. It says, the hurt inside is fading, this shit's gone way too far. All this time I've been waiting. No, I cannot grieve anymore. Yeah. It does feel like you are definitely going through something intense. That's very clear here. There's also this sense of impatience. I think some part of you knows that it's time to walk away from someone or something, but you're not trusting yourself or believing in yourself for some reason, when you should, so you can free yourself. And speaking of freedom, the Devil card here can really make us feel trapped, a slave to our own desire, ego, our need for control, and instant gratification. I don't think this impatience not only has served you, how do I say this? I think this impatience has been a disservice to you in more ways than one. You notice there's an ant on the table right there. Ants can be a sign about hard work, teamwork as well. Maybe you and another person are not on the same page. It's hard to work together because there's a misalignment, not meant for you, not right. I think to get what you really deserve in relationships, similar situations, you gotta learn how to be more patient. It's okay to really, really, really want something. But like this card kind of implies here, how bad is it really? You're allowed to feel the intensity, but is it enough to justify being self-destructive? I think that's a really good way to, or a good question to ask yourself. I feel like you could even be experiencing apathy or close to it. You gotta address this, heal, find closure. Didn't I say that I was tapping into somebody's heart chakra? Yeah, there's a real need for acceptance. So you can walk away or change your perspective. I'm not here to make choices for you, but given the number 2, you definitely, right now, seems like you gotta prioritize what actually means the most to you. I just saw the number 111. Prioritize what means the most to you and trust yourself. Especially because we have the High Priestess in reverse and you're not trusting yourself. How well do you know your worth and what you actually deserve? Perhaps reflecting on this could give you more clarity as well.